Wow, if you can hear that rain, it really is slowing it down, isn't it? Yeah. Now, almost all A&Es saw a big increase in the number of people turning up in December. The biggest rise was at the Bristol Royal Infirmary. 32 more patients a day came through the doors of A&E compared to the same time last year.
Hospitals in Gloucestershire saw 21 more, and there were 19 more people needing treatment at Southmead and Bristol. The only hospital to buck the trend was the Great Western in Swindon.
Alice Bouvry has been to Yeovil Hospital, which has also been under pressure.
Welcome to an averagely busy day at Yeovil A&E. The 12 days of Christmas have come and gone, and everyone can breathe again.
It's been incredibly busy. I think it's been the busiest period compared to previous years that we've had on record. There's been constant pressure on the staff.
The figures for Yeovil Hospital alone show just how much pressure there is on NHS services. In December 2018, 4,896 people came through the doors of this hospital. The following year, in December 2019, that figure went up to 5,255. That's an increase of 7.3%, equating to an extra 12 people a day. As Deputy Chief Nurse, Jo is keeping a watchful eye on today's numbers.
Hi, how is it?
Everything is under control.
Yeah.
At the moment, they're meeting the waiting time target. So why were the last 3 weeks quite so busy?
We always see a peak in winter, but I think we're also seeing an increasingly elderly, frailer population with maybe little support around them in the community. Asking for help and support at an early stage is really important.
This message is getting through.
The role that I can play, you can play, is to go home and adopt your street. Don't be afraid to talk to people. If we all look after our street in Somerset, we'll be able to keep people out of hospital and healthy, living at home in prosperous communities.
The Community Council of Somerset has 70 community and village agents, people who offer practical help to those around them.
What kind of things have kind of been put in place?
Annette, who's blind and uses a wheelchair after having a stroke, says they've been a lifeline.
I was beginning to feel quite isolated, and now I know if there is a particular problem, all I do is phone Linda. There will be some help forthcoming, and it's such a relief.
Everyone knows there's no magic bullet to help the NHS. Over a quarter of GP positions remain unfilled in Somerset alone. Unless something changes, next Christmas and New Year will only get busier. Alice Bouvry, BBC Points West, Somerset.
Well, the Royal United Hospital in Bath has also been under increased pressure, with 19 more people a day coming to A&E. Imogen Sellers is there for us tonight.
You join us on a very damp evening here at the emergency department at the Royal United Hospital in Bath. Another busy day. I'm joined by the medical director, Bernie Marden. Bernie, what's today been like?
Today hasn't been as busy as some of the days that we've been seeing over the past few weeks. We're seeing all the patients who come and need our care. Waiting times at the moment are anywhere between 3 and 6 hours, and any patient who requires urgent and immediate care is receiving it. What we've experienced over the past few weeks tells us that the picture's ever changing, and so we're certainly not complacent about the position that we're in today.
So this busy few weeks that you've had, what are you putting that down to?
There's lots of things in play. I think we've had an early start to the flu season. We've had obviously the Christmas and the New Year period, but we also know, more fundamentally, we've got an ever-increasingly frail elderly population that we need to look after. And that brings with it additional complexity and an ever-increasing demand on our services.
So what advice would you give to people over the coming weeks?
We'd advise patients to, if they need help, to seek it. So before coming to hospital, in particular, perhaps to consider whether they need to be in hospital. So there's alternative sources of information through 111, through the urgent care system, and perhaps through primary care or pharmacies.
OK, Bernie Marden, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Well, we're approaching the weekend, so things are only likely to get busier here. But for now, that's all from me.
Thank you, Imogen. Of course, our thoughts for everyone working in the NHS in this very busy period.